Hi everyone, I'm going to show you today how I made the mould for my spirit sculpt. I've got plaster of Paris and some plaster bandage. I could do with some stronger stuff, but I'm just using what I've got around the house. And I've got a bowl and I'm just pouring a little bit of the plaster in. And then normally you put the water in first, but I wanted to make quite a, be able to control the thickness of the batch I made. I've made it first of all fairly thin, so it would go in all the little nooks and crannies, in the little around the teeth and everything, just so I could get all the detail that I'd put into the skin of the sculpt, because I've done lots of texture and stuff. So wear gloves as well when you're using plaster of Paris, because it dries your hands out really badly. That's why I've got gloves on. So as you can see, I'm using my fingers and I'm making sure that the plaster goes in all the detail of the sculpt, and I'm just mixing up a little bit more. As I mix up more, that second layer of plaster is ever so slightly thicker, and then after that I mix it a bit more thickly. I just wanted to have the first layer quite thin, because then I can make sure it does go into all the detail. And then what I did is I got some water, just warm water, and I got my plaster of Paris bandage because I wanted to strengthen the mould. And normally people use burlap or stuff, or they have the sort of medical grade plaster bandage. I've only got this craft stuff, so I thought, well, if I put a couple of layers of this on in between the plaster, it'll just help, because this plaster is actually quite hard. And I'd cut off little pieces first of all, just to make sure I could get it into all the shapes of the skull, and reinforce the socket area and stuff, because I figured that could be a part where it might break or crumble. And now I'm laying on some slightly bigger pieces, and that's just to add strength to the mould. Basically I think I did about 3 layers of this in the end. As you can see, I'm just doing bigger bandages at a time, each time the bandages are bigger, just so I can cover more of the mould and just give it strength, really, because after the time I've spent sculpting this, I don't really want my mould to fall apart when I take it off the cast. And as you can see, I've applied a fair bit of the plaster bandage. Then I wanted to fill the eye sockets a bit more without using tons and tons of my plaster of Paris. So I folded up some of the plaster bandage and filled the eye sockets with that, and then put another layer of the plaster bandage over the top. Right, this time I'm mixing up a thicker batch of plaster, as you can see, and using that over the top. It's going to add more strength to the mould. It's not a massive mould, so this should be strong enough. And just smoothed it out a bit and added more. Now what I did after this is I left it overnight and added 2 more layers of plaster. And then in the next video I'll show you what happens when I take the mould out. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye for now.